The speaker and the passionate shepherd to his love is a shepherd who pledges to do the impossible, if only the female object of his desires will accept his pleas. The poem is static in time. There is no future. There is no history nor clearly defined future. The poet is never asking the woman for a long-term commitment, but he's offering her pleasure in the moment. He's asking her to come and live with him and be his love, that they will all the pleasures prove. The use of passionate in the title suggests strong emotion. Yet, there is no declaration of love. We know not of his promises, which are mostly improbable and may never happen. He has a strong desire to possess the woman sexually, and he's making these kinds of promises to her. Prior to the composition of the passionate shepherd to his love, Renaissance poetry was most concerned with romantic love. These included poems by Sir Thomas Wyatt and Henry Howard, which were traditional poems in which the poet declared his love and his pleas, but he was rejected. He was a suitor who would be rejected by the love of his desires. Due to his literary genius, Christopher Marlowe tweaked the poem a little bit. He changed this pastoral setting and this form of traditional love into a more dynamic piece. And then he is also a great example of the poets of the Renaissance time, and is included in almost every encyclopedia and English literature course all around the world. He's setting the tone for the poem. He's inviting the woman to come and live with him in this beautiful scenario in which everything is static and it's beautiful and it's majestic. There is springtime all the time. Nature never changes. He never mentions another season, except for that line in the fair line slippers for the cold. But usually it doesn't talk about a change of seasons. He's promising the woman that she will come to a place in which she will find pleasure with him, and that nature will provide everything she needs, everything they need to have a good time. So when the speaker says, "And we will sit upon the rocks, seeing the shepherds feed their flocks, by shallow rivers to whose falls melodious birds sing madrigals," he's promising his love. And not only that beautiful scenario will be around them, but that those things will be orchestrated to give them an atmosphere of love and pleasure. So they will sit upon the rocks and they will see the shepherds feed their flocks. He's a shepherd, but since he's busy with his lady, other shepherds will do his work. And he will spend all of his time to please her. And they will also be there listening to the beautiful songs of nature. The birds will be singing madrigals. So first, he sets the place. And second, the atmosphere in which this place is surrounded. The beautiful sound of water and the sound of birds. Could there be a better place to be? So his love will be enticed by these promises of the shepherd to come and live with him and be his love, among the songs of the birds and the sound of water, in the midst of the valleys, of the groves and the hills, and everything that nature can yield or can provide. Almost like a Bon Jovi of these times, the speaker promised her he will make her beds of roses when he said, "And I will make thee beds of roses, and 1,000 fragrant posies, a cap of flowers and a kirtle, embroidered all with leaves of myrtle." These beautiful things will the things he will give to her if she comes and lives with him in the countryside, in that beautiful scenario. So he will give her beds of roses to sleep on. Not only the bed of roses seems soft to sleep upon, but also the smell of it. And 1,000 fragrant posies. The posies, the smell from the flowers. And all the beauty of the essence of nature that comes to her will be hers to take. And also a cap of flowers and a kirtle. A cap of flowers is something easy to understand, which is an arrangement of flowers she can use to adorn her hair. And also a kirtle, which is a kind of raiment people used to wear in those times. And those raiments will be embroidered with leaves of myrtle. Embroidery is an art that makes clothes more beautiful. Not only these things he promises her, but something else, like a gown made of the finest wool, which from our pretty lambs we pull, fair lined slippers for the cold, with buckles of the purest gold. These are some other things he's promising to give her if she comes and lives with him. So he will give her a gown made of the finest wool, something soft to the touch she can sleep with, and that they will take out of their pretty lambs. An idyllic life in the country. Although he mentions the slippers for the cold, he's not suggesting winter or a change of seasons. Maybe that cold, that fresh refreshment in the morning when they wake up. But her feet will be shod. Her shoulder and her back will be protected by the raiment he provided her. And also, something else to admire, the purest gold. Buckles of the purest gold. The bling bling, the jewelry. And more promises come, more things to give. A belt of straw and ivy buds, with coral clasps and ember studs, and if these pleasures made thee move, come live with me and be my love. More adornment, more things to make her even more beautiful or attractive. Things that maybe a female of that time would have the desire to have. I don't know what this would sound like today if you offered someone to give them a belt of straw and ivy buds. Maybe if they want to live in the country, they will enjoy this idea, but not really. It's continuing to invite her and entice her by his invitation and his promises. So if these pleasures made thee move, if these things that I'm going to offer you, that I'm going to give you, move you, come live with me, be my love. So I'm going to give you a belt of straws and ivy buds and coral clasps and ember studs. All these things which might have been very expensive for the time, which may give some kind of suspiciousness into the tone of the speaker. Can he keep his promises to her? Can you trust him? Can you trust the speaker? And also he appeals for the senses. Not only the beauty of the nature, something she sees. And in this stanza now we see that he's promising her something for the taste. You know, science calls it the 5 tastes we have. And he says this in this stanza. Thy silver dishes for thy meat, as precious as the gods do eat, shall on an ivory table be prepared each day for thee and thee. Not only the sight, the beautiful mountains, and the groves and the valleys, the hearing, which is the madrigals from the birds and the sound of water, the smells from the 1,000 fragrant posies, and the bed of roses, and now precious things for her to wear, the touch, the softness of the wool on her back, and also food, the taste. He's offering her good food, not only good food, but on silver dishes. It's like a banquet that only gods have the rights to eat. And then he concludes his song saying, the shepherd swains shall dance and sing for thy delight each May morning. If these delights thy mind may move, then live with me and be my love. He's also promising not only that atmosphere of love and enchantment, but also that other swains, other young people will be dancing around them to make them feel even better. But the thing is, he said, for thy delight each May morning. So the month of May is when spring comes, when the birds come and sing. So they signal the beginning of the spring, the season. And he's promising her to be with her only in May, which is the spring season. He's not promising to stay with her in the harsh winter.